Hey, it's Kevin again. Just wanted to thank you guys for watching. These videos have been taken off, and that's an understatement. A lot of people like watching this and seeing what's inside some of these various things, and I appreciate you guys taking the time and, watching me and watching the mistakes I make, and you guys definitely let me know when I'm making mistakes, that's for sure. But anyway, we're going to get into this ceiling fan. And we're going to see exactly what's in this ceiling fan and what we can bring to the scrapyard to get some money off of. Now, I don't really go over the pricing and those things. I more or less just take these things apart, show you the various components, and show you which categories you could put them in. This way you could go to your local scrapyard or recycling place and make a few bucks. We're more interested in the dissection of these things and not how much we're going to get at the scrapyard, because with these little things it's very minimal, but still there is hidden value in these things that most people don't know about. And there's just in general there's things that just people have never seen the inside of one of these, so this is the chance to take a look. So we're going to go ahead and look at this one. This is a normal everyday ceiling fan that you see in people's houses. This is an older model, so we're most likely going to find copper wound motor in here. Almost all of them are the same. They're a little bit different than the other motors you've seen in the previous episodes, where you have a stator and a rotor, and there's copper windings that go through the stator. This one is almost like a stator, but the windings are a little bit different. So the first thing I like to do on these things is pull these fan blades off. They get in the way, and it just makes it a lot easier to work with. These we toss straight in the garbage, and so you don't have to watch me take these off one at a time. I'm going to speed the video up from here. Alright, now the next thing I like to do is pop this pole off. Most of the time there's a little Carter pin down here, and this will twist right off. Same thing with this little ball. This half a ball is what actually hangs. So this will be able to swivel in the ceiling. That actually keeps it on the box in the ceiling. But we're going to pop this thing off. And normally right here, as you can tell, there's a couple Carter pins. Those have to be popped off, so usually just take these snips and pop that right out. And that should pop. That should come right out. Next thing, you got there's usually two or a couple of these Phillips head screws. That just holds it in so it doesn't get loose while it's up in the air. Now this should all come right out. So there you go, you have some wire. This is actually short steel. This could be thrown into short steel, it's not tin. This ball right here is aluminum. It's aluminum or it's die cast. Most of the time we just throw it in as the aluminum. I mean, they really don't bother us with that stuff. Now next we're going to take these blades off. The blades are usually a number 2 Phillips head. So we'll pop these right off. These are the same thing. These are usually consist of die cast or aluminum or some kind of alloy in that metal grouping. Which, I mean, some yards do take die cast specifically and give you a different price. But 9 times out of 10, we just chuck it in the aluminum bin. Now in here, you're going to find some wire. This piece is almost always brass. So if you're doing some micro scrapping, this piece right here is always brass. Now we'll check that with a magnet here. And yeah, so this little tiny, even though it's little and tiny, you get a million of these and they add up. So we'll throw that in the brass pile. These are typically tin, but actually this one's actually brass as well. So you have to watch out for these. Sometimes these could be brass, so you don't want to throw brass into the tin pile. So yeah, we're going to pop this off now. And this is usually filled with a bunch of wire. We'll just clip that out, throw that in the wires bin. Yeah, see, you have the switch here, and that gets snipped off with our handy dandy snips. This will go in the tin pile, and this will just clip off, and we'll clean this stuff up later. We'll cut all these little wire nuts and these quick connectors and these switches and stuff off later. This way we can run it through a granulator. Okay. Now, after that, we're going to take this cover off, which we have 3 Phillips head screws up here. Clip this wire too. Just get it out of there. We didn't have to clip it, just ripped right out. So now we have a couple screws that are on the sides here. And after we take these screws out, we're going to have access to the motor itself, and you'll be able to see the copper windings on that motor, which is usually pretty interesting. Okay, so now we have 2 more pieces of tin. The reason I know this is tin is you could definitely see the rusting happening in here from time, but once in a while, I mean, I'm talking 1 out of every, let's say, 30 of these, it'll actually be brass or aluminum, so we always have to hit it with the magnet just to make sure. It's better to test it than to lose money putting it in the wrong category. So we know that that's tin. Pop that there for now. And now we're going to take this apart. We're going to take this piece off down here. Again, we're going to take this Carter pin out. And these couple of screws here. And this will be another piece of die cast or aluminum that we could put in the pile. And that just spins right off. A lot of people have a hard time taking these apart, but after you take apart a few hundred of them, they get so quick and easy. Now you're gonna have a couple more screws here that hold this fan motor in. Again, this only takes a few minutes to do. Then I'm going to show you how to process the motor after this is all done. And I think we have 1 screw. We have 1 screw that's going to mess us up, so we're going to have to cut that off with the grinder. We also have a couple screws here, and we may have to take this plate off and pop it in the vise. As you can tell, I installed a small vise that I could fit in here. I don't want to put too big a one in here, but just ones for demonstrations for you guys. I could do the videos for. It'll help show you guys exactly how this works. Now we're going to have to cut this off. Alright, now all we have to do is smack this with a hammer and it should come apart. Okay, now this is a nice piece of irony. We could throw this in the irony aluminum pile. It's a few pounds. You'll get better than tin price for it. So now we have the motor. Now you can see the copper coils in here. And we're going to test it just to make sure that it is in fact copper. And what we do is we call this a scratch test. So we'll take the grinder, we'll hit this once, and we'll see what the color is. We know that's copper now. We scratched it. If it was aluminum, it would look white, but here, or gray. But now it's copper, so we're definitely going to pop this out of here, and we're going to have to process this. But I think we're going to have to take this over to the vise. And we end up getting a little bit more wire out of it. So now, what we're going to do is cut each one of these and then pull it out of the side. Alright, now that all those are cut, we're going to flip this over. We're going to pull the windings out. They come right out with a screwdriver. Alright, so I lined all the stuff up and all the components that we're going to get out of one of these ceiling fans, and you know, basically from the least profitable metals to the most profitable metals. And we have a little bit of tin here. We have short steel between this pole and this. We could consider this short steel. We have irony aluminum. We also have die cast, which we pass off as aluminum. So aluminum or die cast. Number 2 copper. A little tiny bit of brass, super minimal, and we have regular wire here. So, and that's what you'll typically find in just about every ceiling fan. Some are different, but this is what you'll normally find. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I would urge you to like and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook, and I hope you have a great night. Thank you.